If you take a Wii U gamepad and show it to a Chinese manufacturer, you get an emulation device. Now, this emulation device was in my recommendation on AliExpress, and I was like, hey, let's take it, let's buy it, you know? How bad could it be? So I tested it a little bit. If you look in the description, you see what comes with this device. And let's get right into the box. There isn't much on it, it just says, you know, what it can do. It has a 4-inch screen, like that's a huge selling point. And here you see it, it looks like a Wii U gamepad in my opinion. Let me take it out real quick and see what's in the box. Comes a USB cable, an AV cable, a manual, and a battery. My battery, however, was bloated. Extremely bloated. So I was like, yeah, fuck this shit. I'm gonna put that into a metal container and dispose of it as soon as I can. And some of these boxes actually come with a separate controller for 2-player or for when you hook it up to a TV. Now let's look what the device offers. It offers a couple of face buttons and a D-pad and 2 sticks. Now the problem with these 2 sticks is they're just bound to the buttons below them. Now I did mess around with this a little bit and opened it, and the buttons seem to get stuck quite easily. This is not out of the box like this, it's because I already messed it up a little bit. Now at the bottom you have an on-off switch and a headphone jack, and on the top you have a TV out, you have a USB in, and you have a mini HDMI port. This one is however not hooked up. Now let's just turn it on. Loading. Now what you might already see is the screen is quite bright actually. The problem is that's the only brightness it has. So you can't change it. And the viewing angle on this screen aren't exactly very good. Even if you look at it head on. Now I did put a bunch of games on here just for testing. These are the kinds of games I'm very familiar with. That's why I can much better decide if the emulation is good or not. And the biggest problem I already want to point out with emulation is, let's look at the Game Boy here. It's stretched and you can change it. So the way this emulation device works is it stretches all of the consoles to the screen. Which in my opinion is not the best thing. Let's be honest here. But it's not a bad emulation per se. But it's stretched. Now the screen itself has a bit of tearing, but it's not too noticeable. It is noticeable, but not too noticeable. You could live with it. Let's say it like that. The biggest problem I have with it is, as I said, the stretch screen and the horrible viewing angles. Even just a little bit of movement looks like the blacks are shimmering. It's absolutely horrendous. Now, it does support multiple emulators. It supports Mega Drive, Super Famicom, Capcom Play System, I think, Famicom, Game Boy Color, Game Gear, no idea what this one is, and Sega Master System. For my tests, all of the games run pretty good. The actual gameplay emulation is not bad. What is bad, however, is the sound emulation. Now let me show you how bad the sound emulation actually is. It's bad. It's really bad. I think I might try to replace the speaker. See it if it helps, but I don't think so. Now I did open it up already. The board itself has a little version on it. It's called the XCM GP40M version 1.1. I think the board in here is like pre-manufactured for different handhelds, just with the component shifted around a little bit. I will pop up a little image here that shows the inside, so you can see what I mean. Now, the included SD card is also not really something special. It's 2 gigabytes. It's probably dirt cheap for them to manufacture or to just buy in bulk, so you don't even get like a good size micro SD card with the system. Now, I will replace the speaker real quick and see if that does anything. Now here's the speaker. It is roughly the same size actually. Or pretty much the same size actually. So I think it might work. I don't know if it actually will though. So let me try that real quick. Okay, I replaced the speaker. Let's see if it sounds any better. Or if it sounds at all. Holy shit, this actually worked. It's not perfect, but much better. Holy shit, this is actually much better. The speaker in here is absolute garbage. So yeah, don't buy it.